And welcome everybody to another episode of Top Rope Talk. We are your host, Mr. 6 o'clock himself, Denzel Snipes, along with the undisputed Sumner himself. He's back, Tyler Sumner. How you doing today, man?
Good, man. I'm back for the next 2 weeks, and then the following Monday, the 22nd, I will be at a Post Malone concert, so I will not be around for that episode, but we got lots to talk about today, especially when it comes to the ruler Obafemi, and honestly, probably the biggest thing to talk about tonight is Obafemi and Javon Evans.
Indeed. Hey, you know what? He just made it. Sean Russi is here, ladies and gentlemen. Sean, how's everything going tonight, man? I see you made it just in time.
What's going on, man?
Doing good, doing pretty good, man. So with that being said, just want to remind everybody to check us out on all of our streaming platforms. Follow us on all of our socials. We're on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, follow us, send us a subscription, and hit the like and also the subscribe button, the notification bell for any updates and such. Also follow us. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok as well, and our website sideline-se.com. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go into our WWE SmackDown results from last Friday. So how about not Rey Mysterio, no, it wasn't him, Dirty Dom Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez advancing in the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring quarterfinals. Ricky Saint steals one from Carmelo Hayes, and also in a tag match, Jade Cargill and Meechin defeated U.S. champion Tiffany Stratton and WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley in a tag match also. So first I want to swing this down to Sean and your thoughts about the events of SmackDown last Thursday.
No, I thought it was good. They're trying to build up some of these younger guys clearly, and they're using SmackDown to do so for the most part. Obviously, Javon's kind of on his own there on Raw in terms of younger guys, really, in terms of a class on his own. I would say a lot of the other younger guys are really trying to cut their teeth on SmackDown, but I think it's good. It's good for SmackDown. SmackDown needs more filler than Raw does because it is a 3-hour show, and even with commercials, it's hard to get through. So I think if you can develop some more talent and get the audience interested in a few more characters, it's going to do a lot for that show just in general. In terms of the SmackDown results, in terms of the King of the Ring, and we'll obviously touch on more on this on what Tyler just said happened earlier today, but I think they're going to swerve all of us here, and Dominic Mysterio is going to challenge Roman Reigns.
How about that take? Dominic Mysterio versus Roman Reigns at some point in time this year.
I'll tell you why later in the show when we touch more on Oba and Brock, but we'll get into it later.
Okay, no problem at all. Well, with that being said, we'll swing on to Tyler. Your thoughts about the events of last week's SmackDown?
Yeah, so I thought it was a good show. The Judgment Day obviously playing a huge part. I do think that Oba is going to beat Dominic and get to the finals, but I'll touch on more what happens with there because there's a match coming this Friday on SmackDown that I think the winner of King of the Ring is in that match, that being LA Knight. I think LA Knight is going to beat Obafemi in the King of the Ring final, and we get Oba versus... Well, not Oba. I think LA Knight is going to be Oba, and I think we get LA Knight versus Roman Reigns because that's been going on, and then we'll touch more on this when we talk about the Raw results. But LA Knight tonight in Paris, rather, said to Jey Uso, plain out, screw your family.
Okay.
There's going to be repercussions for LA Knight, whether that be at Night of Champions. I think Oba will be the one to defeat Roman Reigns inevitably this year. I think it's going to be Oba. I've been heavy on that. I know some other people that I've talked to outside of the podcast also agree with that. But then we have some other guys here. Like I know you, Denzel. You think it should be Seth that should be from him.
1 second, Tyler. Actually, the next topic is the update on the King of the Ring quarterfinal, King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament. So we can kind of table that until the next topic. So
right,
you got
good.
Yeah, anything about the rest of SmackDown?
Ricky Saints, Carmelo Hayes. I like this feud. Cargill and Michin defeating Tiffany and Charlotte doesn't do anything for me. I'm kind of like over the Jade Cargill thing. It came and it went. They tried, but it's just with Michin and BFAB, it doesn't interest me. Had Jade Cargill had Lash Legend and say, from NXT, for example, Jada Parker came up, I would have liked that faction a lot more. But you know what? It is what it is. I think EO, actually, since we did an update on this, and I wasn't here for last Monday's show, because that was part of the results of last week. I think EO winning that Fatal 4-Way was the wrong call. Okay. I think it should have either been Lash or Roxanne Perez. And we'll touch more on that in the bracket. But overall, I also would like to... I'm very curious to see what's going on with Fatal Influence, because they kind of teased the collision with Fatal Influence versus the Women's Tag Champs, Paige and Brie. And I think Laney and Fallon of Fatal Influence should hold those titles.
Okay. Yeah. No. You know what? And I've actually kind of been high on Fatal Influence. I have been following JC Jane since her days in Toxic Attraction. And I really like the fact that she, at this point in her career, and I know the other two are gone now, but now she finds herself leading her own faction in Toxic Attraction. So now, in Fatal Influence. So now, with that being said, we're going to go on to our WWE King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring update. So we got Femi versus Mysterio in the men's semis, Sky versus Rodriguez in the women's semis. Now, also, as I take a look at this, we still got a Fatal 4-Way with Morgan, Lynch, Bliss, and Green. Then we got Sal Ruka, Valkyria, Flair, and Cargill. Now, on the men's side, we still have Rollins, Evans, Tonga, Saints, and then Uso, Knight, Keys, and Balor. So, with that being said, Sean, your take on the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament updates. What do you think?
Well, I think me and Tyler both agree that Femi's losing because of Brock Lesnar's interference. It's just a matter of which round he's losing in. I think they do it versus Dominic, but I could see them letting him letting Femi lose in the finals with the Lesnar interference. But I don't know if we're going to LA Knight or Roman Reigns, or we're going to LA Knight and Jey Uso, because obviously Jey needs something to do here other than just be in the background. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think Dominic does pull off the upset here because of Brock Lesnar, and then I think EO advances as well.
Okay, all right, and then Sean, not Sean. I'm sorry, Tyler. So the rest of what you were going to say. In the second right
so we actually have the results from two of the Fatal 4-Ways, or one of the Fatal 4-Ways, which was tonight. Liv Morgan did advance, and then Javon advanced. That was today on Raw. So Javon will get the winner of the Fatal 4-Way from Friday. He'll get the winner of LA Knight, Jey Uso, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. I'll be in attendance at SmackDown for that match, so I'm very excited for that. Nice. I think LA Knight is winning that. My thing is this. I'm a huge Oba guy. Oba's probably my favorite in the company right now. Mm-hmm. And for years to come. Roman's kind of taken a step back from that. I say that as I'm wearing Roman's shirt. But I just think, I know I want Oba versus Brock one more time because it's been so damn good.
Right.
And Oba should be the one to retire Brock. It should have just been that way at Mania. Mm-hmm. But here's my question. Mm-hmm. What if it doesn't happen? What if Oba just runs the gauntlet? What if they do Oba versus Roman at SummerSlam and Oba walks away with that title? And Gunther's the one to retire Lesnar. Like, what if Lesnar wants to challenge for that title? Because Lesnar's a free agent.
That's true.
What if Lesnar wants Gunther's title? Because Gunther's going to beat Cody at Night of Champions. 100%. Mm-hmm. Gunther's taking that title. He should have had it in Italy. That was the most bullshit thing I've ever seen in a while for a Cody Rhodes match.
Oh, yeah.
I like Cody, but that was such bullshit. I will say, I think when Gunther wins that title, I think Brock's going to be the one to challenge Gunther for the title at SummerSlam.
And you think it's going to be a title versus retirement match?
I think it's going to be title versus career. And and if they do that, then that's where I can see them doing Oba versus Brock at like the Saturday night's main event in Madison Square Garden, because that they always go all out for their cards at Madison Square Garden. I think that's what they're going to do. Oba Brock.
So you're saying they're going to let Brock beat Oba, because you can't have Brock lose to Oba and then go face Gunther.
Here's my thing. If Oba, let me put it this way. If Oba's going to be, because in my eyes, Oba's the only guy that can take that title off of Roman right now. He's the only legitimate guy I can see being the one to take the title off Roman. Seth can't do it because the narrative there is that Roman has to beat Seth before he calls it a career. Roman's never beaten Seth. I don't think LA Knight is going to get a world title anymore. We're way past that point. It should have happened a while ago. I think we're at the point now, if Oba wins this tournament clean, Oba's going to beat Brock in Madison Square Garden, because Brock has said this too on a Barstool podcast, that he is so high on Oba Femi, and like he even said strap the rocket to Oba, and I agree with him on that, much like a lot of people do. I think we're at the point now where if Oba wins the King of the Ring tournament, Brock will be like, okay, let him beat me in Madison Square Garden. Gunther retires Brock. Oba beats Roman. And then we look at it like, this guy just beat Brock in a best-of-3 series, ran the King of the Ring gauntlet. Mind you, with an injured arm, he won his Fatal 4-Way and had a 3-on-1 assault in his Fatal 4-Way. And he no-sold a chair shot tonight. Punched the chair literally with his fist into JD McDonald's Funko Pop-sized head. Okay? Nice. And he literally said, and I quote, to Dominic, Rey Mysterio may be your father, but next week you're about to meet your daddy.
Oh, nice.
Like, come on. Oba Femi, like, I think if Oba wins the King of the Ring tournament, Oba's winning the title at SummerSlam. Because we've seen it. The numbers game has tried to work on Oba the past 2 weeks now, if not more weeks. Even when Oba first showed up after the Rumble, tag teams were trying to take him out. Nobody can stop this guy.
Yeah. You
had a steel chair, like, and Liv Morgan's over here saying, oh, we have a better plan. What the hell is Liv's scrawny ass going to do to Oba? you think Oba throws grown men far across the ring? Oba will throw her from the ring to the goddamn entrance walkway, back to Gorilla.
And then not only that, but just like with that Sean alluded to last week, is you have more women in the Judgment Day now than men. So what are you gonna do? You don't have a plan. You don't have that kind of plan for Oba Femi. As a matter of fact, I think your best chance for Oba Femi was a past member, and he's on SmackDown, Damian Priest. Because other than that, none of you can take Oba.
I don't even say that. I think the best chance was a past member, and it was the Demon. I think Demon Finn is a better chance than Priest. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing, I like Priest, don't get me wrong, but now like him trying to beat a guy like Oba isn't as believable as it was when he was World Heavyweight Champion, because of the fact he's with R-Truth. No offense to R-Truth, but it's not believable anymore that he's going to get a big win over somebody. Like, I think the only reason why Priest is in this match is because he's going to take the pin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Priest. I like Priest, but I think right now where we're at, guys, with Oba Femi, I mean, I don't know if you guys had a chance to hear the Paris crowd when he came out tonight. It literally shook all of the cameras in the arena.
Yeah, I'm actually going to cut it on here after the show.
Like, Oba, you have to strap the rocket to this guy. I think it's going to be a good match with Dominic. I think we're going to see some Judgment Day involvement, But again, I just think it's going to be in a predicament where, Oba, say Dom goes for the 619, Oba catches him, yeets him, falls from grace to him, 1, 2, 3, pack him up. Oba's going to the King of the Ring finals.
Yeah. And Sean, you and I have talked about this, how Oba is primed for, it's looking a lot like Brock Lesnar in 2002. Am I right?
Yeah, like I said, I just disagree with the order here, especially with the long-term story planning they're laying out with Heyman and the 1-to-1. Oba, unfortunately, like I said, I'll gently disagree that he is not going to win the tournament, and Brock Lesnar is definitely not going out with 2 losses, no matter how he likes somebody. He's not going out with 2 losses in a row to end his career. So I think Brock is going to pick his spot, interference. He's going to go out with 1 more loss at SummerSlam to Oba, and it's actually going to close the show on SummerSlam Sunday because Lesnar deserves that. Cody versus Gunther a 3rd time will open SummerSlam Sunday, because I think they're going to do more hodgepodge with Cody and Gunther at Night of Champions. And let's remember, Gunther has not set his date yet, so not necessarily is it going to be Gunther at Night of Champions. Gunther could literally hold himself off. And then Roman versus Dominic or LA Knight on Saturday as the main event for SummerSlam Saturday. Because they've obviously swerved you here, where obviously no Breaker and Seth is not over now. They seem to be going the Punk route. That's going to be a very long rivalry. But as much as Brock Lesnar is a business guy and he's willing to do favors, there's no way he's going out on his back twice in a row in 4 weeks.
I mean, I can say that if Vince McMahon was still running the company, he probably wouldn't have lost it all. But I don't know. That's neither here nor there.
I just had another thing real quick. Are we overlooking Javon in this tournament now? Like, could Javon be the one to win it?
With it being the main event for Saturday, in my opinion, you could have anybody in there, because it's not going to be looked at to carry the SummerSlam show. It's Lesnar's retirement is going to be the story of the entire weekend.
Yeah, and then not only that, and don't get me wrong, I mean I've seen the young OG give Oba a fight, but
that's why I think he's that notch above Carmelo. He's that notch above Trick Williams. He's a little bit better than those other NXT guys he came up with, and that's why I think you're seeing him get a few more extra victories than those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? And also, you got to take a look, dude. This matchup coming up might be the most stacked first round. You got Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, who may be brand new to WWE, but he's no slouch to wrestling. People have watched him as Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW. And Finn Balor. That might be the most stacked. That match
can go either way. Either way.
Yeah, it could go either way. With that being said, I love Javon Evans, but I don't trust him against anyone of that 4 coming out of the first round.
I was going to say, because that's on Friday, you could have the MFTs involved in that match. Obviously, Jacob and Jimmy could get involved in that match. That match could be a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing, right? Javon's already in the next round. This match, though, right? Because let's look at it this way: Jey Uso, they could swerve us all here. Jey could win and get his get back against Roman. Maybe he beats Roman, right? Who knows? LA Knight, obviously, they've already set that up. Royce Keys has something going with the bloodline here, because Roman Reigns did say at the end of Clash in Italy, he's heard the chatter. LA Knight, Royce Keys. He name dropped Royce Keys. Maybe Royce Keys wins this.
Yeah.
Balor, another one, could win, because there's history. All of the people in this match have something with Roman Reigns.
And this is what we were talking about, Sean, how with Roman Reigns, it's kind of like the reason why Seth Rollins can't move to Fridays. He's got too much loose ends on Mondays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like we said last week, I think they are sprinkling breadcrumbs that they're on the working plan right now, that it's The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 43. So I think we'll continue to see breadcrumbs sprinkled that way. The fact that they're going to obviously hold Seth and Roman for later gives me even more of an inkling that Seth could be the conduit to how we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know what? We'll move on to our next topic. This is actually something I kind of came up with on the fly here.
Can I just ask one more thing real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
If Oba does win and then says he beats Roman at SummerSlam, would you guys be content with Oba as world champion?
Of course.
Getting it.
Of course.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason to not be content with him. I think the problem with what you've done with him right now is you've built no one up. You probably can't build anyone up in the 6 months to get to WrestleMania without turning Oba heel, and it becomes a whole thing in terms of like no one's really going to be interested in a heel chasing Oba other than that heel getting squashed. So
there is one guy
like
that
the Cody Rhodes situation where kind of people want to see him turn, but at the same time, Cody holding the belt is kind of detrimental because he's better as a chaser, to be honest.
If Oba doesn't win the title at SummerSlam and doesn't win the King of the Ring, I could see. I think it's a very clear cut. Oba wins the Rumble next year. I think Oba wins the Rumble.
Figure
next
he's
year.
winning one of the two.
He's either winning King of the Ring or he's winning the Rumble.
If we think eventually that the payoff is Cody beats Gunther, then that allows you to have Oba versus Gunther at next year's Mania alongside The Rock and Roman.
Yep, and I think something else that I do want to see too. We need to see Oba versus Braun Breaker soon. Oba versus Breaker needs to happen. Because think about this. Oba eliminated Breaker from the Rumble, and Breaker's kind of been just like in the background, nothing to do with Oba. Here's my thing. Just with how good Oba is, there's literally only 4 people that comes to my head that I can actually, not counting Brock, because we've already seen Oba beat Brock. There's 4 people, actually 5, that come to my head, and maybe I'll do this as a 5 count next week. We'll see. Of who is actually credible enough that can beat Oba Femi and carry the weight of that. Braun Breaker, Javon Evans, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Those are the only 4 that I can legitimately see beating Oba and carrying it. Because think about this, right? Gunther has beaten people, but then we've lost interest, and then it's like taken. Like, perfect example. When Gunther beat Randy Orton when he was World Heavyweight Champion at Bash in Berlin or whatever it was, right? Did we still care about Gunther's reign? Or were we just like, oh, it was a boring reign? It was a boring reign, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to do something to make me care about Gunther. And if Gunther wins the title, not saying Gunther's like bad at all in the ring. He is probably top 5 within the company that we have in the ring in terms of that old Piper style type of wrestling, right? I think the route you go here, if Oba doesn't win King of the Ring, you do Oba wins the Rumble, Gunther holds the title till Mania, Oba, Gunther, and then you get Oba on SmackDown. Have him be that guy. And then the first feud, if I'm fantasy booking way out, the first feud I want after Mania next year when Oba's champion, I want Oba versus Drew.
Now, the only thing that I will say about that's a plausible plan right there. The only thing about it is Oba just made the main roster. Do you really want to move him from Mondays to Fridays that fast? Typically, these people stay on one show like 1 to 2 years. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the question.
The Rumble makes that excuse easy, though, because then you obviously have to choose your opponent and stuff.
Yep.
And if not, obviously, because, and so I see the one thing they've done here, and it's the same thing that happened with Cody when he was on his come up. They're going to involve The Rock in this, and the fans are obviously going to push back, just like they wanted to see Cody versus Roman. They're going to want to see Oba versus Roman, but they really need to hold to their guns this time and let Oba go ahead and run SmackDown and do that, even if it's at 44. Just do it down the line when it's a bigger payoff for both guys.
Agreed. But now here's my question, though, right? And I'm sure we can create some AI pictures of it because Sean's so good with the AI background things. I mean, this Spider-Man background, guys, it's incredible. We could always see what Oba looks like with with each title. Decide which one he looks good at.
And so, before we jump to the next topic, you weren't here last week. It's something we discussed, and she obviously won tonight. Do you think we're going towards unification of the women's title? They've dropped breadcrumbs of Liv versus Rhea for several weeks now. Liv won her match today, so obviously she's advanced.
I don't want to see that.
Thank you.
But the problem is Stephanie Vicaire getting hurt when she did. I'm just going to say it fucked everything up for Liv's plan. 100%. But I think we're going to get Roxanne screwing Liv in the final of the Queen of the Ring. I think it's going to be Raquel versus Liv, and I think Roxanne's going to make her choice.
Now, here's the thing. Don't forget, when Liv Morgan won, when Liv Morgan won the Women's Royal Rumble match this past January, who did she last eliminate?
Raquel Rodriguez.
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
So
well, here's my other thing, right? And I just thought of this. What if the reason that the split starts is because of Oba versus Dom? Like, they're all out there. Raquel's trying to distract Oba. Liv's trying to distract Oba. And JD's out there trying to distract Oba. And then Roxanne finally comes down. And they're all hitting Oba except Roxanne. And she's like, I don't want nothing to do with this. And then Oba beats Dom. And that causes the split. That starts to cause tension. Higher tension. Because Liv confronts Roxanne and says, why were you afraid to go attack this monster?
Yeah.
And then Roxanne could be like, see what you just said there? Monster.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, I'm not making this up. Oba is literally the dude that is made up of Nigerian people's nightmares.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying this right now. You put Oba on the Dallas Cowboys defense, they're winning the next 5 Super Bowls. 100%. But I'm checking.
I'm sure there's an offensive line out there that is in need of Oba Femi, but go ahead.
Oh, 100%. Like Las Vegas Raiders. But let's get back to this here. I think either this Oba Femi versus Dom match is going to start causing tension with Roxanne and more in the Judgment Day, but I think the payoff is going to be the Queen of the Ring final at Night of Champions, and Roxanne screws Liv. And then at SummerSlam, Raquel takes the title.
Ooh, Sean, he's got Raquel as champ at SummerSlam. You agree?
I mean, if they go that route with the heel turn, it's kind of like we've talked about. You can't burn it out that quickly, and obviously in that situation, you know, the other parts of Judgment Day would be considered the heels because, and we talked about this last week too. You got to find a way to get Liv and Dominic out of there. They've outgrown that at this point.
True.
And either way, however they're going to get out, they're going to be the faces of the situation. Dom is already over. He's been over for a year and a half. He's been over since Mania 41.
Yeah. Pretty much when he won the Intercontinental title out of nowhere, people were like, "Oh, yeah, this dude's the real deal."
No, it was the biggest pop of that weekend.
It was.
Even with Cena 17. That was the biggest pop of the weekend. Was Dominic Mysterio?
Yep.
Yeah. Weren't you in person for that one, Sean?
Yep.
Yeah, because you went to WrestleMania Sunday, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, so our next topic here, and I kind of came up with this one out of nowhere. So last night I was watching a replay of WWE Unforgiven 2008, I believe, and the pay-per-view consisted of 3 championship scramble matches for the ECW title, the World Heavyweight title, and the WWE Championship. I know you. I'm pretty sure you all have seen them and are familiar with them. So,
if I remember correctly, it's like there's 5 people in it, and then they start off one by one, and then the timer goes down, and like if you pin that person in that point in time, you're the champion, and then that person's the champion. I don't want that hellhole of a catastrophe. I'm just gonna say I don't want that hellhole. That is like let me put it this way. Do you know the scene in Spider-Man No Way Home where the spell breaks? And then the multiverse starts pulling in all these villains that know Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Yeah, that's what a championship scramble in today's world is. There could be a world if we get a championship scramble where Akira Tozawa is the one that pins Roman Reigns. I don't want that. I don't want that, please.
Well, Sean, what about you, man? What do you think?
The last thing I need to see is Akira Tozawa standing over Roman Reigns in 2026.
He's not even going to be in a damn match. Sean, what do you think, man?
No, so it's one of those things. I think with the guys they're building up, gauntlets would be a good thing for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't know how you do this like times, because the roster is so vast, and then you're definitely gonna damage someone throughout the course of this type of match in terms of where their character is, because someone's taken a quick loss. And how do you explain it? Or do you just do kind of like Breaker and Seth? He just stomped him right before he got in the ring. Easy explanation why you're out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them do more like a gauntlet type match, or even like throw Reigns or Oba and some more handicaps where these guys have proven that pretty much even the CM Punks of the world can't level up for 40 minutes against these guys. So I think it's one of those things where gauntlet matches would be an interesting change. And I think people would feel like there's more chance for them to lose in the second or third match going through, depending who the second and third opponent is.
True. I will say that in to your point, how there's always one member of that match that's kind of cannon fodder for everybody else. To your point, in the WWE Championship Scramble match I saw the other night, you know who one of the contestants was? Brian Kendrick. Remember him?
There you go.
He got pedigreed not once but twice by Triple H, like back to back.
I'd like to not remember those days.
Man, it was definitely interesting, especially in the last one when Jericho came out of nowhere replacing CM Punk and he stole the World Heavyweight Championship. That was classic stuff.
Yeah, next week we're going to come back here and Denzel's going to have a segment. Best championship scramble matches in WWE history.
Hey, we can start with 2008. That actually was pretty good. But you know what? Seeing as you're in 5 count mode right now, we're going to go ahead and go with Tyler Sumner's 5 count. The 5 count with Tyler Sumner. Today, he's got the top 5 entrance theme songs. Undisputed Sumner, take it away.
What's going on, everybody? If you're new here, I am the Undisputed Sumner. And yes, today's top 5 count is entrance theme songs. We're going to go ahead and get into number 5 here. It had to be on the list. I didn't know where I was putting it, but it is the Rest in Peace, of course, the iconic Undertaker theme song. Had to be on this list. From the moment the gong hits to when the flames start going up to when he's walking down the aisle, you feel chills up your spine. So number 5 is The Undertaker's Rest in Peace. Getting into number 4, Cody Rhodes' Kingdom. Now, this one might be controversial, but man, this one, it gets the crowd singing. It's electric. I use it when I go to the gym almost every other day. It's a great song to walk out to. It's a good song to play on the speakers. So, and let's be honest, you're a Cody fan or you're not a Cody fan, every time you're hearing that, whoa, you're singing it. Coming in at number 3, we got Metalingus, Edge's theme song. Why is this at number 3? Well, I'll tell you why, because there was 2 others that I simply just thought off my music taste and my listening to it were better than this one. It is in the conversation for best ever. That is why it is top 3. The You Think You Know Me to the dun 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 dun, dun to the drums, all of that is iconic. However, I just think it's number 3. Number 2. Come on. Had to be in the top 2. And it's not number 1, it's number 2. Cult of Personality, the better of the CM Punk songs. Others will say This Fire Burns. Cult of Personality is just a great song on its own. I've never met somebody that doesn't like this song. And like every time I see Punk, I start singing it. And it's a great song. I will literally just go to my car at random nights and just play this song and start driving around. It is a great song. But number 1 is No More Words, Jeff Hardy. The one that goes, so you see the writing on the wall. The one that, hell, I've said this as a joke multiple times. The most popular man in 2008 not named Barack Obama was Jeff Hardy. Just saying it. It truly was. And this theme song was part of the reason why. And Jeff Hardy in 2008 was one of my favorites. Jeff Hardy is one of my favorites, period. I've met Jeff several times at indie shows, and he's a great guy. But guys, that is my 5 count. Let me know what you think in the description below or in the comments. Next week's 5 count. Gentlemen, if you want to come back on the stage.
We're here. What you got?
Next week's 5 count will be the top 5 Undertaker streak matches of all time.
Woo! Oh, okay, yeah. That one there is definitely going to be a barn burner. But my take on your top 5, I love it. I truly do. Undertaker's Graveyard Symphony. That music is so iconic that anyone who has a TikTok nowadays or social media, whenever they see a clip and something's about to go wrong, they literally play that theme song. It's the theme song of Doom. It's had the theme song for 30 years now. He actually debuted it in 1996. But most definitely then also Cody Rhodes' Kingdom. Okay. I love the choice. But as far as getting the crowd singing, I would have replaced this with Seth Rollins. But I'm not mad at Cody Rhodes' Kingdom.
So there was actually one theme song that I was debating on switching out with Kingdom, and it wasn't even Rollins. It was Roman's Head of the Table because of how impactful that song made his title reign.
Yeah. No. Most definitely. No, most definitely. I mean, you can't go wrong with either three.
There was one Undertaker theme song that I wish he would have used more than once, but he only used it at Mania 27 against Triple H. But you have to go back and actually look up old clips of people from recording it in person because they cut it out of the broadcast because of copyright things. But he used Ain't No Grave by Johnny Cash in that match. And if you actually like listen to that song and watch the entrance back with Ain't No Grave, it just makes Taker's like, because the first line of the lyrics are, there ain't no grave that can hold my body down. And like, that's the dead man.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, all right, this is badass. But the other one that I was also, that's an honorable mention that I want to say here too, is Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. I think Rollin' is definitely one of the best ones that there's been.
That was the better one for his American Badass gimmick. That was the better one.
Yep. And I think the other one that I would say is an honorable mention is The Game, Triple H's theme song. I've heard it so much where it's like it's not a top 5 for me anymore. And I think another one that's an honorable mention, my last and final honorable mention, is Chris Jericho's Break the Walls Down.
Yeah, yep. Now, which version? The one that he debuted with in 99 or the Second Coming?
The Second Coming.
Second Coming. Okay, gotcha. Okay, then. All right, so let's see. Alter Bridge, Metalingus. I mean, how can you go wrong? The AEW crowd sings it right now. You know, they serenade him every single time he comes out there. CM Punk, a Living Color Cult of Personality. I'll openly admit I like Kill Switch Engages a little bit better. He beat Cena at Money in the Bank 2011 for the championship to that theme song. It was only right afterwards that he debuted this one. And Jeff Hardy, No More Words. I actually watched WWE Armageddon 2008 just the other night when Jeff Hardy won the three-way dance to win the WWE Championship, and this is the theme song that was playing. So a solid list. Sean, what do you got, man?
No, it was a good list. Some honorable mentions just from what I would say, NWO Wolfpack, obviously for the 90s, Hogan's Hendrix theme, AJ Styles TNA theme, Orton's Today, Cena's, what was Thugonomics, like 2003? So like 2003 for Cena. Yeah. But those are some other ones, that were good. Obviously, like Austin's Glass Break was more of an iconic sound than really music. But, the same with The Rock, his little smell with you're cooking right as his music starts. But those are more, they're almost more sounds than they are theme songs, those two. The Rock has more of a theme song now than he did when he was actually wrestling.
Like you can make the argument like Taker's is just iconic for the gong, but like the music itself, it's like, you hear and then it starts kicking in and it's like, okay.
And it usually always goes with a special entrance too at Mania, right? Where these other guys, as much as obviously they have some different things, I wouldn't like put their entrances at Mania as over the top. Austin and Rock are very much walk to the ring guys. Same with like Roman. Like you're never gonna see Roman drive a vehicle out to the ring at WrestleMania. So I think it works.
I mean, when it comes to The Rock, and his theme song at WrestleMania, the most extreme thing he ever did for the entrance was at WrestleMania 40 when he walked out there with the flaming Brahma Bull and everything. But other than that, like you said, if he was at Mania, it was a straight walk to the ring, nothing extravagant or anything like that. Austin, he didn't even have like a shattering glass effect or nothing. He just kind of came out to the ring.
He did.
Austin,
he did at WrestleMania.
13.
I think it was either 14 or.
It was 13. It was 13. And but what I was thinking about SummerSlam. He had it at SummerSlam also. But yeah, he did it at WrestleMania 13. My bad. Stone Cold's is iconic. You know, like The Undertaker, like Hulk Hogan. Like, okay, you hear real American, come on, you hear the guitar riffs and the lyrics, and you like know that's Hulk Hogan, right? You know what I mean? Ric Flair's is iconic. You know what I mean? When you hear the horns and such, 2001: The Space Odyssey theme and all that, like that's like iconic. You know what I'm saying? But no, this was definitely a great topic, man. Thanks a lot. Really got us talking and everything. Because I'm now I might put up a top 10 list myself, but we're gonna go to our last topic here, and that is Sean Russey's Enter the Vault. I got two of them that I picked out, man. Before you appeared on the panel, we'll go ahead and do the first one right now. Take it away.
All right, so June 8th, 2020, we've got AJ Styles defeats Daniel Bryan, and I believe that was one of his last WWE matches for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. Sammy actually had to relinquish it due to actually getting COVID, or at least testing positive. You know, at the time it was kind of in the height of the pandemic. It's one of the reasons Roman was away during that time towards the very end. But yeah, this was a great match. Obviously, AJ Styles now retired. Daniel Bryan, I'm not sure if he's even still active in AEW. I know he's on TV. But, you know, this was, for their WWE runs, this was one of their better matches.
It was, absolutely. And, you know, when it comes to AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan at the time period, they're going to tear it up. The funny part about it is two Brock Lesnar matches that no one talks about that were freaking phenomenal was Brock versus AJ Styles, and on short freaking notice, Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan.
And Brock always, you know, especially with those types of guys, I think Brock versus Shawn Michaels would have been a banger.
Oh, you know, yeah, absolutely.
Those types of guys, for whatever reason, Brock just meshes well with. And I'm not saying his matches versus Roman aren't great, or same with Ova. It's not like they're not great, but they're not what these are.
What these are, yeah, exactly. So, and then we got our other one. Take the floor once again, Sean.
So, June 8th, 1997, King of the Ring, like we have going on now, Triple H defeated Mankind in the finals to win the King of the Ring, and at that same event, Farouk was actually challenging the Undertaker. Undertaker defeats Farouk for the WWF Championship in the main event. I believe Farouk was part of the Nation at that time. You know, that was one of the Nation's bigger pushes during that time. And in terms of Triple H, this is the King of the Ring he was supposed to win 3 years earlier before the Madison Square Garden fiasco, and he finally, you know, got that done.
Yeah, absolutely. And also a funny thing, because this sparked the rivalry between Triple H and Mankind that culminated in Madison Square Garden at SummerSlam when Mick Foley came off the top of the cage, elbow dropping Triple H for the win. But this one right here, this actually was notable because Triple H has long said in the interview that he absolutely refused to wear that crown. That's why every single time he had it handed to him, like when he beat Mankind at the event, he took the crown and he beat him with it. And then he was handed a new crown like the next night, and he beat him with it again. And Vince McMahon was like, "You're not going to wear that crown, huh?" And Triple H was like, "No, I'm not going to wear that crown." You know what I mean? So yeah, this was great. SummerSlam 1997, when you get the chance, watch it in its entirety. It is one of the best SummerSlams of all time. SummerSlam Heart and Soul, the main event. Taker defending against Bret Hart. That was when Michaels made the mistake and hit Undertaker with the chair. That's what led to their rivalry. And yeah, it was just total mayhem. So with that being said, that actually is all that we have, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's show. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Follow us on all of our social medias. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, and also TikTok. Also, check us out on our website, sideline-se.com. Tyler, you got anything special coming up, man?
Going to SmackDown on Friday. Excited about that. I'm going to be there probably from like 1 o'clock to like 11:30 at night, just trying to meet anybody I can. back there. I'm gonna post up, park back there, do what I gotta do. Main one I want to meet. I just want to meet Trick. Trick's the only one I want to meet. I want to take a picture with Trick and see the lemon pepper steppers in person.
Hey, sounds good, man. Sounds good. And then before we go, Sean, you got any closing thoughts?
No, so I'm just gonna add to that. So that rivalry actually went on for 3 years and finished in 2000 with Triple H versus Cactus Jack at Royal Rumble, and then again in No Way Out in February.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what is it? Yeah, because they and for a brief moment, you know, when DX was a face, they helped Mankind win his first WWF Championship.
No, when you look at that whole story in terms of what Mick Foley or Mankind or Cactus Jack or whatever you want to call him did overall for what then Hunter becomes from 2000 on, you know, you could really credit, you know, Mick Foley as being that launching pad for him, other than getting away from DX.
Yeah, absolutely. So, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is tonight's show. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next week for more Top Rope Talk. Peace!